Good day everyone, this is Teacher Maria Cristina Empelito, your science teacher. In today's topic, we're going to discuss about Module Week 3. Alright, let's begin. In Lesson Week 3, we're going to describe the physical and chemical change operationally. But before that, let us first take a review what matter is. Matter is anything that has weight and takes up space. Everything that you can see and touch is made up of matter. Remember that all things around you is made up of matter. There are four main states of matter, which are solid, liquid, gas, and plasma. Matter is constantly experiencing changes. It may change in size, shape, or state without changing the identity of the materials. It may be changed in its composition, resulting in the production of new substances. Matter undergoes two changes, which are physical and chemical change. Let us find out what is physical change. In physical change, no new substance is formed. Physical changes occur when matter changes its properties, like texture, size and shape, color, without changing the chemical composition of materials. Physical change happens when force is applied on the matter, like by cutting, pressing, pounding, stretching, compressing, deforming, rubbing, and by adding or removing heat. I have here an example of physical change. As you can see in the picture, the rubber band changed in the size and in shape when it was stretched. Once the force exerted upon it was released, the rubber band returned to its original size and shape. This is true for almost elastic materials. Next example is cutting the paper. Paper has changed its shape and size, but the identity of the paper remains the same after it changed its size and shape. Third example is the glass wine hit by the bullet. The glass bottle changed its shape and size when it was broken. If you observe the composition of the bottle, it does not change at all. It's still original material. Second changes that matter undergoes is the chemical change. Chemical change differs from physical change. In chemical change, new and different materials are formed. The new materials formed have different properties from the original materials. Here's the example of chemical change. When you burn logs, ashes are produced. The logs react with heat and oxygen, causing it to burn and produce ashes. Ashes have different materials from logs. Water and carbon dioxide were released during the chemical change. As a result, the composition of the original material changed. The product as ash can no longer return to its original form as logs. Next topic is the characteristic of physical change. The following are the characteristics observed when physical change is happening. During physical change, only the physical properties such as size, shape, color, and state changes. Example is, like for instance, when we pound a rock, the shape and size changes. However, fragments of the rocks contain the same particles that made up the rock. During a physical change, no new substance is formed. Example, when you place an ice cream on a table, you will observe shortly that it is starting to melt. Melting process does not change the composition of the ice cream. It changes its state or form, but the composition of ice cream is still water. It is reversible change, or substance can return to its original form. Example is melting changes into liquid water. It can be reversed by freezing it back. Characteristics of chemical change. During chemical change, there is a change in appearance and composition of the substance. A new material is formed. Here are the following characteristics observed when chemical change is happening. Example number 1, when steel plate combines with oxygen and moisture in the air, rust is formed. Rust is soft and powdery. When a material undergoes a chemical change, the new material formed cannot be brought back to its original form. Next one is changes in color. A continuous change in color is a sign of chemical change happened. Example is rusting of iron. From the gray of iron, slowly changes its color to reddish brown. Next is the release of heat and light. An example of this is burning of wood. As it burns, it releases of heat and light and carbon dioxide. Next is a marked odor. Another sign that a material undergoes a chemical change is the releases of odor, different from its original smell. The rotten meat starts to release a terrible smell as it starts to spoil. Next is formation of bubbles. Another obvious sign that a chemical reaction occurs is the release of bubbles. When you mix vinegar with baking soda, bubbles of carbon dioxide will form. Now let's take a look at the difference between physical and chemical change that are presented in the tabular below. We have 4 basis comparison for physical and chemical change. Those are composition, its effects, produces, and energy. Under composition, a physical change is type of change where there is no change in the composition of the substance. The molecular bond remains the same. Under chemical change are those changes where there is a change in chemical composition and formation of new substances. The molecular bonds of the materials break and form new bonds with different properties. Second basis for comparison, its effects. Under physical change, it affects the physical properties of the materials like shape, size, color, and state, etc. The change is temporary and can be brought back to its original form, like for example in ice, from solid to liquid, or vice versa. Chemical change. Its affects both physical and chemical properties of the materials. Chemical change is permanent and it involves breaking of chemical bonds and formation of new bonds to make a new substance. Basis for comparison under produces. In physical change, no new substance is formed, while in chemical change, new substances is formed with different properties from the original material. Next is the basis for comparison under energy. In physical change, there is no energy produced in physical changes. In chemical change, on the contrary, some energy is produced like heat, light, and sound during chemical reactions. Now let us go to another topic. The presence of oxygen has various effects on matter. Oxygen in the air is very reactive chemical. It is important in many chemical reactions. We have 3 kinds of various effects of matter, which are combustion, rusting, and reactions. Let us go first discuss combustion. When we say combustion, it is the process of burning in the presence of oxygen, giving off heat and light in order for fire to occur. A fire occurs when 3 elements are present in the right amount. The fire will continue its flame provided that there is a continuous supply of these 3 elements. Those 3 elements are oxygen, heat, and fuel. Next is enzymatic reaction. Some fruits and root crops have enzymes which, when combined with oxygen, give its brown color, is a sign of a spoilage. In the composition of matter, oxygen is needed by microbes to break down dead plants and animals to obtain energy. In the absence of oxygen, decomposition can still be happen. However, the process of breaking down dead plants and animals by microbes takes longer time and foul odor may develop. Yan. Let us now take a look at the activities in Module 3. Okay, sa week 3, day 1, ang sasagutan nyo po ay, so let us recall, kapag useful materials, check. Kapag harmful materials, X po ang isasagot. Next, let us apply. Write PC for physical change and CC for chemical change. Pag PC, physical change. Pag CC, chemical change. Yun na po ang isasagot. Next, letter B. True or false lang po. Next, let's analyze. Meron po akong nilagay na choices dito sa gilid. Yung choices po ay changes in color, change in state. Isusulat nyo po yan dun sa box ng change. Iaano nyo po yan ha, kung ano po yung correct na dapat na choices doon sa given. Okay po? Slicing a cake. Ano po ba yung change noon? Change in size and shape. No new substance is formed. Yun lang po. Kahit change in color, change in state. Yun po yung sasagot nyo. Week 3, day 2. Let's recall. Same din po. Pag PC, physical change, at part CC, chemical change. So let's apply naman po dito sa characteristic, i-check nyo po siya kung physical or chemical change po ba ang binigay na given. Po sa let's analyze, dito po, pipili po kayo sa box kung physical or chemical change. An apple is cut. Yung process po niya, meron pong mga given, ano po yung characteristics niya, type of changes na nangyari. Basta po mamimili po kayo dito sa dalawa po, kung physical or chemical change po sa given. Next po, day 3, week 3, day 3. Ayan. Same pa din po, PC and CC lang po. Pag PC, physical change. Pag CC, chemical change. Next, let's apply. Dito po sa gitnang box, hahanapin nyo po yung sagot. Tapos, ilalagay nyo po siya kung physical or chemical change po. Ha? Next po, let's analyze. Yan po. Sa let's analyze, nagbigay po ako ng choices para hindi na po kayo mahirapan, mga bata. Ano po ba yung sa physical change? Di ba po, no substance is formed. Ano po yung opposite ng no substance is formed? Hahanapin nyo po dito sa choices. Choices yon at isusulat nyo po sa loob ng box. Okay po? Okay po? Next po, week 3, day 4. Kung physical ang given, hahanapin nyo po yung opposite ng chemical change. Yun. Next, let's apply. Yan po. Dito po, sa let's apply, nagbigay na po ako ng choices. Ilalagay nyo po yung correct answer doon sa given ng materials po, kung ano po yung tamang sagot doon. Okay po? Next po. Week 3, day 5. Ayan po. May choices din po tayo sa let's recall. Pakilagay na lang po ang correct answer sa tamang given. Yung una po, sa let's recall, ito po yung kapag merong oxygen, present yung oxygen. Kapag naman yung let's apply naman po, ay yung opposite. Yung absence of oxygen ang hinahanap po. Ano daw po mangyayari sa material kung walang oxygen? Ayan po. Nandito na po yung mga choices sa given, sa gilid po. Pakilagay na lang po yung correct answer sa tamang box. Let's analyze. Hanapin nyo po yung sagot sa box. Yan po. Letter lang po. Next, let's try or evaluation. Po. Yung right correct answer lang po ang isusulat. Next, let's create po. Direction. Create a poster showing physical and chemical changes that happen in our environment. Note po, create your own poster in long bond paper or intermediate pad paper. Make it sure po na koloran at be creative. Pakitingnan po yung criteria of scoring sa ating rubrics. Okay po? Ayan po yung example niya. Alright? Thank you and God bless us all. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.